What's up, guys? It's Kayla.
And Jim.
And welcome back to another Meteorology Monday. So, you are halfway or over halfway through the semester as an ATMS student, and you might find yourself asking some questions that we are sitting down today to answer for you. Now, this includes freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, super senior, in fact, whatever you may be. If you are in school for meteorology or atmospheric sciences currently, you will find yourself in these questions, we hope.
And we've, again, broken them down into categories, and we will start with the freshman year first, but before we get started,
if you find that you're enjoying yourself along the way, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below so you never miss the next Meteorology Monday. Also, if you haven't seen what we've been posting on our Instagram and all across our YouTube platform, we have merch available now!
go ahead and check us out at meteotechweather.com.
Just put this and then with a .com at the end of it. I will also link it as the first link in the description box. Check it out. Get yourself a hat, because everybody knows that if you want to be a meteorologist and graduate on time, you need this hat specifically.
These hats will almost guarantee you graduate on time.
Yes.
Not really, but
no.
Get the hat anyway.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with the questions. I've got them on my laptop, so I'm not ignoring you. If I'm looking down, I'm reading questions. So I'm gonna read, and we got a bunch of questions to get through. So let's go ahead, I'll grab my laptop, and let's get into the first question. So again, we're starting with the freshman year.
Freshman year.
Questions that are mostly relatable to freshmen. Are all meteorology classes as easy as Intro to Meteorology?
No. Next question. And conversely, if you are currently in Introduction to Meteorology and you have a difficult professor and you are finding it unbearably difficult, does it get easier?
It does not.
Also, no.
Most likely, you probably won't see that professor again in the upper level classes, because most upper level classes are not taught by those professors in the lower level. So if you're taking a lower level course, a freshman or sophomore, 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000 level courses, most likely the professors or instructors teaching those don't necessarily teach the junior and senior level classes. I've had some TAs that were harder than some of the professors. Just because they're a TA doesn't mean you get away with anything. But not to go so much into detail on this one question, but generally if you have a hard professor for Intro to Met, the teaching style of that professor, it may stick with other professors too, but the course gets harder.
So yeah, no.
Why does ATMS feel clicky?
From personal experience, I have found that the upperclassmen seem a little clicky to the freshmen specifically, because a lot of time the freshmen don't make it into the program. A lot of freshmen who are taking Intro to Met classes end up dropping out and not actually joining the department. When you have a group of like 300 freshman ATMS students saying, I want to be a meteorologist, and then you get to the senior level and there's 5 people in your class, it doesn't make for forming strong bonds with the lower level group of ATMS students. Also, as you progress, you usually end up sticking with your classmates, since you're doing all the same homework together, you started in the same classes, then you go to sophomore year, you're all in the same classes. You become very accustomed to the group that you are in, and with how much homework that you are going to be assigned, there's not really much time for going and finding other friends.
One other thing to consider as you're coming in your freshman year and you're trying to relate to upperclassmen, they've gone through it. Yeah. Some of them have already been through the earlier years in the same school. Some of them may have transferred in. When you get to that level, they've experienced a lot of their classmates dropping out their first year or two. So a lot has happened with a lot of those relationships by the time you get to your senior year. So it's not really that the seniors are trying to snub the freshmen, it's just more of they've got the experience that they've gone through those last 3 years or so. A lot of freshmen have dropped out, so it's kind of like, okay, is this person going to be sticking around, or are they going to, after a few weeks, they're going to be dropping out of the program?
What's our next question?
All right, ready? Oh my God, How much math is involved? And will I use all this calculus?
Answer to question number 1. A lot. A lot of math is involved. So the answer to question number 2, yes, you will use the calculus again. Not in actual applicable life, but you will use it in your next upcoming classes.
I think the only place you actually apply all the physics and the calculus and all that stuff is when you get into modeling.
Yeah.
There might be a couple of other things, atmospheric chemistry, and other, again, it's modeling. So you need to know these equations in order to, but does the general forecaster at the National Weather Service use these equations to crank out what their forecast is going to be for the day? No. This is all done by, the forecast and modeling office.
Yep.
They've got other duties that they need to do. They can't spend time cranking this out every single day. So
yeah.
Again, it just depends on the role.
Yeah, and shout out, we've got a couple NWS forecasters who watch our videos, so let everybody else know down in the comments whether or not you actually use this in your day-to-day forecasting.
All right, next question. Tips for memorizing meteorological terms. So that is a very good one. For me, it was just doing it over and over and over again. What do you think?
Get really good at Greek and Latin. And when the word isodrosotherm pops up and you happen to know what those 3 little parts mean in Greek or Latin already, it does help out a bunch. So if you're in high school and you have an option to learn Latin or Greek, those will actually come in handy one day if you choose to pursue meteorology.
And the good thing is you have Google nowadays.
That is also true.
I did not have Google back in the day.
I had Google.
She had Google. I didn't have Google. I had a glossary of meteorology that I could refer to, and
that is old. You still
physical
have it,
paper.
actually.
I still have it. I do still have it. I don't use it that much, but I do thumb through it when I need to.
And when Google's unavailable.
How do I choose a concentration? That's a very good question when you're entering in your freshman year. You've made it halfway through your first semester. I'm sure you've got lots of questions like, coming into this, I had an idea where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Now that I see what some of this involves, how do I pick a concentration?
Right.
You know what? You still have time.
You do.
Right now, you're just getting acclimated. You're seeing what's available, what still interests you. You may have had an interest at the beginning of the semester. By the end of the semester, it might change.
Right.
That's the great thing about this, is that there is fluidity there.
Yep.
Because you haven't gone into something specific yet. You're still at the foundational layer.
Yeah, you may have come in wanting to be a storm chaser and then realized, oh my god, there's so much math involved with becoming forecasting concentration, so you might decide that you want to try something else. I know broadcast has a little bit less math involved if you're interested in going into the more media side of meteorology, but there's also climatology and a couple others as well. And for those who are going into something more meteorology adjacent, you do have hydrology or environmental sciences, which is a close cousin to meteorology with far less math.
How many times will my family and friends ask me what the weather is for their area?
It never stops. It's all the time. If you get out of college, they still do it.
You could be like, no, I'm into modeling. Nope, I'm into climatology.
Nope,
I'm into how atmospheric chemistry, how two amoebas come together and form lightning. It doesn't matter. It just...
We're not just
whatever.
gloss over it.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't end.
They know you love weather. They're going to ask you, what's the forecast for today?
Just have the Weather Channel app on your phone and look it up.
Next question. Advice for connecting with people in the department and showing them I'm here to stay.
Ooh, that's a good one. There are a couple programs that most schools have, such as the Weather Forecast Challenge. There's also things like going to ATMS meetings. They usually have student chapters, so there's that. And then there's also study labs. If you're falling behind in any of your courses, if you just need a friend, if you need a space to do your homework with like-minded individuals who are also weeping in the corner, go to the Atmospheric Science Department, study lab, or get your free tutoring wherever that's available. You can do it with math or science or ATMS, whatever, but that's a great place to meet people as well who are going through the same things that you are.
And local AMS chapters aren't just with students, they're professors. It could be National Weather Service employees, it could be private weather employees. It just depends on your chapter and who's involved. Here's an important one that most ask.
Oh yes.
When do we get to do storm chasing?
You don't. You don't. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it.
That's right. In fact, we've got storm chasing, a whole storm chasing segment that talks about all that.
If you want to go storm chasing, don't as a freshman. But you can live vicariously through us who have a storm chasing series. We went out in April.
Oh, backing up. Look at behind us. We're in the whole thing. We gotta go.
Oh my gosh! Go watch it. I will link it down below, and it'll also pop up in one of these corners, and you can live the storm chasing life through us. Then you can graduate and decide if you still want to go storm chasing, and then do it safely.
All right, and the last question that we have for this segment is, I'm drawing a lot on these weather maps. Do I need an art class prereq?
You don't need it, but it's heavily advised. No. You will quickly become very well acquainted with the red and blue crayons. If you don't have a nice set of colored pencils, you should probably invest in one because the art is here to stay, and you will draw on many maps to come.
It's good to learn the manual method so then you understand the automated method when the computer actually puts the maps together for you.
Right.
It makes more sense.
Moving on to sophomores. This segment is for you.
Is it normal that no one believes me when I tell them how hard ATMS is?
Normal but annoying. Yes. If ever you want to be taken seriously, just tell them the truth, and that is that ATMS students take many of the same courses as engineers. In fact, in your higher level physics and math classes, you will probably be in there with a handful of engineers. So if anybody gives you crap for being in meteorology and saying it's not very hard, just tell them that your class is filled with engineers and watch their faces go, oh, like that.
I remember I took Physics 3, which was like optic physics or something like that. And I was the only meteorology student in there. I'm sitting next to people that want to be, physicists and all these other, scientific degrees. And I'm kind of going, how am I going to use this in meteorology? So, sometimes it just is what it is.
It is.
Will I always be asked if meteorology is just cloud watching?
Yes, also annoying.
For those that don't know much about meteorology, yes, that is true.
Yeah, I had many acquaintances in college who would come up and ask, oh, you're in meteorology, do you just stare at the clouds all day? No, I stare at the quasi-geostrophic omega equation and want to lose my mind! But I also enjoy cloud watching on the weekends.
I feel like I'm already behind in understanding concepts. Will it get easier or should I get help now? Great question.
Yes.
And definitely the answer is get help now.
Yep.
The sooner you can understand these concepts, especially the basic concepts, because everything builds on these. So your freshman year and your sophomore year are going to be your foundational for the upper level classes. Yep. You want to get those nailed down as soon as you can.
Yep, so going off of a previous question, spend that time in the study lab.
Tips for surviving.
The study lab. Also, coffee.
Or if you're into energy drinks, working out,
do what you
midnight
need to do.
pizza, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Also, highly recommend becoming best friends with the smart kid in your class.
And find a professor that you really enjoy learning from. You're going to glean a lot from them. I thought I'd be out storm chasing by now.
You're getting closer, you're a sophomore.
And you can apply some of what you've already learned so far. So you're getting there. That's
you're getting
good.
there. And if you still feel the desire to storm chase, that means it's easier for you to choose a concentration, because at this point you will be choosing your concentration and what part of meteorology you want to go into. So perhaps the forecasting side of things.
One thing I would suggest is not an absolute no to storm chasing, but go storm chasing with someone who is more knowledgeable, someone that does have experience, maybe an upperclassman, maybe a professor, maybe somebody else that's local, that's already graduated and this is their thing. See if you can become part of that and glean from them. That would be a great opportunity as well.
Yeah, but don't put off studying for your exams to do this, otherwise you will end up like Reed Timmer and end up in college for 743 years.
The upperclassmen look so cool in their group of friends doing homework together and still don't talk to me.
At this point, it's probably because the upperclassmen know who you are, know that you're in the department, but are so consumed with their homework problems, whether or not, the synoptic assignment is doing 45 minutes and I still haven't answered the first question because it's talking about the horizontal warm air advection and between this point and this point, and it's coming from a degree of 217 degrees this way at 14 knots, and it happens to be a Tuesday in November, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's probably what the upperclassmen are doing right now. But in all seriousness, the homework assignments get a lot more involved and lengthy and time consuming. So if you are established in the department and still aren't finding friends with the upperclassmen, I would look towards your own class and see if there are like-minded individuals in the sophomore class that are sticking around and can follow you through the next 2-3 years along with whatever you're doing.
Next, we're going to move on to the junior year. First question, here we go. When does it end?
It doesn't. No.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's hopeless. It's hopeless at this point.
It's not hopeless.
It's hopeless.
You're
You're stuck.
almost-
You are stuck.
You are
Just
stuck.
enjoy the ride.
But you're almost done and you've come so far and you can't give up now, okay?
You're strapped in. You're going. You're on the rocket. You're strapped in.
Midterms are over for your junior year. You've got a year and a half left. Don't give up. Continue on with your synoptic homework that I know you don't want to finish. Calculate the horizontal temperature advection. I know you can do it. Carry on. You're fine.
The one thing that we can truthfully say is by this time in your junior year, the first 2 years start making sense.
Yeah.
And that's why you need to get the foundations down, because now you start getting into Dynamics 1 and thermodynamics and all this other stuff, and it's like, okay, now all this other stuff makes sense.
Just throw thermodynamics out of the window. It's fine. I give you permission. You will have to use it, so you need to know where you threw it so you can go find it again, but for right now, I give you permission to throw it.
Is it normal to want to quit and take up basket weaving?
I wrote that question.
Good question. Basket
Also,
weaving.
This
You
is,
might not get credit as it applies towards your major.
no,
But-
but I can empathize with your question as I wrote it. It is normal.
Just hang in there. You've gone this far.
You've gotten this far.
You've gone this far. Actually, at this point in your college career, you are closer to the end than you are to the beginning. So just keep pressing on. If you're struggling, again, use some of the things we talked about in the previous years, which would be classmates, professors, someone that can help you along. So
Yeah, and try to enjoy it along the way, because in all reality, you only have a year and a half left, and then you're on your own in the job force trying to make your way as baby meteorologists. So enjoy it while it lasts.
should I have started a swear jar freshman year? Not for swears, but for every time someone asked if I'll be on TV.
Yes, and I also give you permission to carry that jar with you for the rest of your life.
That's what's going to help
Because
pay for your
oh
college
my
tuition.
gosh, you got those student loans coming up. You can pay out of that jar because it doesn't end. And then you have to explain, oh no, I actually have a weather forecasting degree. Oh, what is that? And it's forecasting the weather. Oh, I didn't know that that was a thing. I thought you were all on TV. You have to go down the whole rabbit hole. Nobody wants to hear that. So you just hold out the jar that says, if you ask this question, deposit $5.
And then you can buy a hat.
You can buy this hat.
There you go. From the money in your swear jar, you can get both hats. Tips for memorizing thermodynamic equations. I'll be honest with you. It was hard to memorize. The good thing was my professors at the time allowed us a cheat sheet.
That's
So we
right.
could write it down, and then we would go into the exam and we could reference that and then do our work. So does everybody remember these? I'm sure there's a small amount of people in the population that'll be able to memorize
Nerds.
these. I was not one of them. I needed a cheat sheet. So.
Yeah, most of the time you will get cheat sheets for these upper level classes, which is very nice.
Is it normal to spend so much time with the same people in the same rooms that you collectively decide to enhance the atmosphere of the department by adding your own decor?
It is! Well, it's...
What? I'm lucky. The decor in the rooms that I was in, the decor were Difax weather maps attached to a clipboard that was on one of those pegboards.
See?
That's my decor.
depressing.
That's what I grew up with.
My class had to bring in the more, like,
And a GMT
homey
clock. That's it.
atmosphere. Well,
What
we
are
were
you talking about?
We printed out so many little things. It was a picture of a mint plant that said encourage mint, and we taped, I believe it was like 35 of them around the department, so that as we were suffering in our upper level classes, we could just look around and see a little bit of encouragement. So I think that we enhanced the department decor, and years later when I went back, there were still 1 or 2 of them. So if any of you are currently at UNCA in the old ATMS rooms, let me know if the encouragement stickers are still all over the ceiling.
Next question. It feels like everyone is here to be a forecaster or storm chaser, but I chose climatology and feel left out. Should I have chosen differently? The short answer is no.
No.
If by your junior year you still feel passionate about climatology, then you're going down the exact path you need to take.
Exactly.
We need climatologists also in the field. I know it can feel like, gee, I feel like I'm the only one. That's where you can try to reach out to, especially in this day and age with the internet.
Yes.
You know, you can reach out to other climatologists. That is, again, a close-knit community within the meteorological community. You can find encouragement there. You can find people that'll help you along and just be there for you. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, there's so many other concentrations that don't get a lot of the hype that forecasting and going into storm chasing and all this stuff kind of gets. There's atmospheric chemistry, there's all these little niche bits of atmospheric science that are just as important and just as necessary in the community as forecasting and such. And usually each department will also have a climatology specific professor or somebody who's adjacent to that field who can help you along as well.
Can everything in these upper level classes be answered by plus, minus, or zero?
If you are in a dynamics class, yes. Yes. And don't mess them up, because it's just completely wrong.
I would also throw in there less than or greater than.
Ooh, yeah. Or arrows. Some answers are just arrows.
Or equal to.
Or north, south, east, or west. That pretty much covers all of dynamics. And kinematics. So,
any special character will do.
honestly,
A wild card character, question mark,
if you just...
exclamation
If
mark.
you get so tired that you smash your face into the keyboard, chances are at least one of your answers might be right by doing that.
All right, the last one being the senior year. Here are questions relatable to seniors. All right, here we go. First one. Is it worth it to finish?
It is. You're so close. You only have half of a semester and then one more semester to go, and then it's graduation time, and that last semester, it goes by so quickly anyways because you don't sleep and you're delirious, and then you're just having fun with your friends, enjoying the last couple months of your degree. So yes, I would say it is worth it.
And this is going to be one of the harder years because this is where projects take a long time to complete.
Yeah.
You know, you've got life and you're trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do after this? Am I going for a master's degree? Do I go into the workforce? Interviewing? It's just, there's a lot going on. So it's worth it. Finish it. And you're completing a 4-year degree.
Exactly.
It tells a lot of companies that you stuck it out and you completed something that you started. How many energy drinks can I safely consume in a day? They didn't have energy drinks back in my day, so I'm going to kick this one over to you.
Well, so far the answer isn't 3, but if you have a higher number, I'm interested to hear it. So really, who's to say?
Probably safe to say it's less than a metric ton.
Meteorological weather is not held responsible for any heart attacks induced by the amount of Red Bulls down in the early hours of the morning.
That's right.
Cramming for exams.
My energy drink was caffeinated coffee.
Coffee is great. Get a pumpkin spice latte, sit down and do your work.
I mean, I didn't even have that stuff back when I went to college. It was
Okay, well,
black coffee. There it is.
Your life.
Sometimes you needed a fork and knife to get through it because it was so thick.
your life sounds boring, so.
Next question. Will I ever use the quasi-geostrophic omega equation again after this?
No.
100% unless you are in modeling, and I'm not talking about those that get their pictures taken. I'm talking about atmospheric science modeling. Are you going to use these equations to do anything you're going to do? Broadcast meteorology, forecasting for the Weather Service? No. Absolutely not.
No. Unless you're doing videos like this on the internet where you have to keep bringing it up and reliving your past trauma.
I still have trauma from it. I don't want to talk about this.
Move on.
Tips for memorizing literally anything in synoptic meteorology 2.
You give up, you cry, you drink an energy drink, and you hope that they gave you a equation sheet. My professor gave us a 7-page synoptic equation sheet for the exams, which is very kind and also excessive. More than likely, you will also have one of these cheat sheets. When in doubt, integrate.
My synoptic meteorology classes I thought were great. I had a great experience with it. I did well in it. When Kayla took them, it seemed like it was 10 times harder, or the requirements changed a little bit.
I loved my professors. The class was a lot.
Yes, but when she showed me some of her work, I'm like, wow, I didn't even do some of this. Of course, you know, some of the products weren't available back 150 years ago when I took it. Why does ATMS feel the need to abbreviate everything? LCL, WAA, NWS, CAD, etc.
Well, in short, after this card goes by, My personal belief is because they didn't want to type that much for the textbooks and make your 800-page textbook 1,600 pages instead. At this point, I don't remember what half of the things stand for. I just know what they are. I have to think real deep about LFC. It sounds like a football club, if I'm being honest. It's the lifted something, I don't...
Level of free convection.
You know, see, I forgot it. I know what it does in thermodynamics. I don't remember. See, you nerd! You nerd!
I tell you what, you will need, especially when you read a National Weather Service area forecast discussion, they love using acronyms
They love it.
that their forecast
They
isn't...
love it.
And I'll tell you
I
why.
see some of you who use it all the time.
And I'll tell you why. Back in the day when we used to chisel out things on stone, it used to cost more money because transmitting that many more bytes or bits across a very expensive infrastructure, it cost the Weather Service a lot to do that. So they abbreviated a lot of times. And you grew up with that and you carry that. Even though transferring that data is not nearly as expensive now, you still do carry that so that your area forecast discussion is not 400 pages long. That's where the root of it comes from. It was a cost savings back in the day. Now there's no cost savings, it's just habit and just continuing what it is.
Meteorologists are nothing if not old-fashioned. Level of free convection?
That's right.
That does sound right now that I think about it.
That you lift the parcel and
Okay.
then you just let it go.
That's what I did with all my
like a
knowledge
balloon.
of thermodynamics. I let it go.
Best way to network since I will be looking for a job soon.
Ooh. Well, I will put my 2 cents in before you launch into what I'm sure is a lot more comprehensive than I'm about to say. But one great opportunity is the AMS conference, which I'm sure some of you are going to coming up. It's usually around January every year. And a lot of you might be presenting research projects there. It's big for that. It is a great place to meet fellow meteorologists from across the country that you probably wouldn't ever bump into just on a day-to-day.
Probably could have mentioned this earlier, but if you have an opportunity for internships, that also
Right.
get your foot in the door. Internships should be looked at earlier in your college career. If you can, there's lots of different avenues you could take.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a follow-up video talking about that.
Let us know in the comments if you'd like that.
Is it normal to go one step beyond decorating the department and start a full-on herb garden in the study lab?
Again.
What's going
All
on
right,
here?
well.
What's going on with my life? An herb garden. Seriously.
Well,
We had nothing green in my entire atmospheric science department. I don't even think the professors that had windows in their offices, I don't think they even had any greenery. If they did, it was one of those fake plants. Because sunlight does not come into a meteorology department. It just doesn't. There's a blockade.
I'll tell you, if you went through a door that went in through another door that somehow led back to a classroom, there was one window and the sunlight poured in. We had like a full-on herb garden. We had the encouragement, well then we had encouragement to the plant. And it turned into a whole thing. It was great, and I think we honestly made the department better, and I hope that they still talk about us to this day. What were those crazy kids doing? Have you seen those seniors? I think they lost their mind. And we did, but we also had an herb garden, so you didn't.
We did not. But to be fair, and to be honest, we set up a makeshift ping pong table in the student room. And what we did was we found pieces of wood. I brought in a ping pong ball. Somebody had a ping pong net, and we pulled one of the student tables over, and we made a ping pong table out of that. Eventually, I think we had grad students, and a professor showed up, and academic advisor, and they're kind of like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then afterwards, it was kind of like, should we be doing this? Because we're kind of using the room as this instead of studying. So it lasted a semester. And then after that, it kind of died on down. But anyways, we didn't have greenery, but we had a makeshift ping pong table.
So it sounds like this is a common occurrence. If you're a senior, let us know what you're doing in your study labs. On that note. So there you have it, some questions. Now that you are halfway through the semester, we hope that you have found these questions relatable. If you have further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We'd love to start a dialogue with you. If you have not started an herb garden or a ping pong tournament in your study lab, what are you doing? It seems like you're slacking. Also, we don't condone any of this. In case you get in trouble, we are not liable. Again, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, buy yourself a Meteotech weather hat to support your local meteorologist, My hat's over there. I was gonna do it again, but it's over there. Enjoy the rest of the semester at whatever college or university that you are currently at. Best of luck with midterms and finals coming up. And as always, you can find us over on social media, Facebook and Instagram. If you are not in college, but watching this video and want to learn a little bit of the basics before getting into that first Introduction to Meteorology class, check out our School of Weather. It is a series of online courses taught to you by I and he, and we go over basics of meteorology, and then we get into the basics of severe weather as well, if that interests you. Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you at the next Meteorology Monday. Oh, restart your computer.
No, don't do it.
Remind
We're so
me
close.
next century.
What?
I like that
Why
option.
is that an option?